We're going to talk to Dr. Boyce at Environmental Protection Agency in Ghana here, EPA, about what is happening. We'll go there live via Zoom, and afterwards we'll come to the studio and talk to Mr. Nyakon Ampem, who is a poultry farmer, to find out more about the supply chain disruptions that has hit the poultry industry globally and even within the country itself. But before we continue, let's go for the base language for today. Well, from the market value, we go to the stock market to know the value of the equities that performed good or mixed or gained some value on the market today. Let's go to that with Sani Abdurrahman.
How the market has opened the week. In fact, there were exchanges across 7 counters as at the end of the session, with Bob being the sole mover on the markets. In fact, as a result of a 50 peso gain, the equity has recorded. The market indices have gone up. The composite index has inched up a little. Let me tell you the stocks that made the move on the market today. Of course, the price mover was Bob, but there were exchanges across 7 equities, as I said, largely driven by MTN and GCB. MTN accounted for 31,604 shares that were traded on the market today, followed by GCB, which did some 11,356 shares. So we also saw Fun Milk trading some 4,000 shares, as at the end of today's session, 1,050 shares by EcoBank Transnational, 2,000 shares traded in Bob, the sole mover on the market today, then 700 shares with Access Bank. It's been a while that Access Bank has made some sort of move on the market. 40 shares, as low as 40, also with SCB. Stanchart. So in terms of the volume of the shares that were traded on the market, cumulatively 50,750. If you want to know how this translated into the market indices, the volume of shares, total volume of shares were 50,750, which translated into a value of 131,644 Ghana cedis. The composite index has inched up a little by 0.04%, standing at 2,865.97 points. The market cap also has inched up slightly, and it's now at 64,287 million. If you want to know how much your returns are since the start of the year, because the composite index inched up by 1.66%, the returns also have inched up a little, and your returns today is 47.61%. The financial stocks index recorded no change, and what you're getting from that side of the market remains at 16.79%. Edward, if you want to know what transpired on the market today, that's all I can tell you. But it's interesting, the discussion in Glasgow.
Very interesting.
Whether these global economic giants will actualize their pledges, because it's not the first time that they've made a lot of pledges in cutting emission and ensuring that global warming remains within the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold. But you don't see firm commitment.
We want to see that, because the economic giant like China is not present at the meeting. Turkey has not attended. Even China is just sending even just a written statement, is not even willing to do that. India is pledged to do zero net emission by 2070. So that's very interesting.
You're hearing 2060 from Saudi Arabia,
and then the UK
players in the fossil fuel space are not showing any commitment to ensuring that the issues of climate change is
adhered to. So let's go straight to Scotland to talk to Dr. Boyce, who is in charge of climate change at the Environmental Protection Agency in Ghana here. All right. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Now, COP26, that is a conference of the parties 26, is billed to be more or less the savior of the planet. Is that what you also think, that COP26 is going to deliver that kind of a magic wand to save the planet?
Thank you so much for your question. I think it's whether thinking of it is going to be the magic savior probably is somebody's imagination. I think like your earlier conversation before you officially connected with me, this has not been the first time you've seen pledges and
all right.
hopes.
We'll go for a break. When we
high.
come back, we get. I think we are having a problem with the lines there. Hello, welcome back to Makata. And we go straight to Scotland to talk to Dr. Ntwi-Boasiak, who's in charge of climate change at the EPA. Doc, you're welcome again.
Thank you.
Yes, I was asking that some say COP26 is going to deliver the magic wand.
Yes, and then I was also saying that if anybody thinks that it's going to do the magic, probably it's up to the person's imagination, because this is not the first time hopes are high when a COP of this nature is being held. We saw that in Paris when the Paris Agreement was adopted. There have been a number of times that COPs have actually raised their ambitions on paper, but when it comes to probably implementation, it looks not good. And so, yes, we are hoping that this conference actually delivers on finance. We are hoping that this conference actually delivers on adaptation. And then also we are hoping that this conference delivers on long-term strategies that will help countries to reduce emission. We are yet to actually see how this discussion will go in the next few weeks.
Great. Now, looking at the position of developed economies, they pledged $100 billion in terms of financing carbon trading and carbon finance. They couldn't deliver. Are we going to see more action this time around?
I think this is actually the fundamentals of the whole discussion that we are having here. Way back in 2009, the developed country parties actually pledged that every year they were going to mobilize 100 billion from 2009 until 2020. From 2009 until now, we are in 2020, which 2021. An assessment of that mobilization, actually, if you add from 2009 until 2020, an OECD report puts the whole mobilization around 76 billion. So they have not even been able to mobilize 100 billion for one particular year. And so the question is, how is the next 5 or 10 years climate finance architecture going to look like? The question that developing country parties are asking is that, okay, if you say you are going to actually scale up climate financing, give us the criteria. How are you going to do the mobilization? Is it going to come from public finance? Is it going to come from private? In case it's going to be a combination of public-private, what is going to be the percentages? We actually want to have a clear understanding so that they don't continue to remain pledges, but we'll have kind of financing pledges that are predictable, that we can actually be sure that we can actually look out for.
So at the moment, if you look at the position of countries like China, who are not turning up, Turkey, these are giants in the global space on carbon emission. What is the signal? What kind of signal are they sending out?
I think when it comes to climate financing, they are part of, I think I'm not too sure about Turkey because for China, China is a developing nation per the UN categorization under this framework that we are negotiating. And so even if they were here, they were still going to be part of countries like Ghana to ask for money from the US or from the UK or from France or from Italy or from Germany, from any of the advanced countries. So China's maybe absence at the high level summit doesn't actually say anything in terms of the pledges that are there. It doesn't mean that China is not doing anything in country to support the green climate agenda because they have a lot of clean technologies that they are pursuing in country. They are also not a donor when it comes to climate financing and this climate change negotiation process.
All right. Finally, Ghana, what are we, kind of message are we sending to the world at Glasgow at the moment? What is our NDC looking at?
Okay, so Ghana has put forward an NDC that is very ambitious. Ambitious in the sense that we're trying to, I don't want to go into figures because those are figures that, okay, we are putting forward ambitions that are looking at adaptation. We are also putting forward ambition that is looking at mitigation. Between now and 2030, we want to actually do emission reduction, putting all sectors together, over 60 billion metric tons, million tons, sorry, for the next 10 years. That said, we are also trying to see between now and that 10-year period, we are able to mobilize financing to support communities like peasant farmers, like people who depend on water resources, people who depend on coastal resources, to be able to build resilience. This is what our NDCs actually talk about.
All right. We'll come back to you, God willing, tomorrow, Dr. Antwi Boasiaku, for an update. We're grateful for your time. We're going for a short break. When we come back, we're going to look at the supply chain disruptions that have hit our poultry industry on the heels of the bird flu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Avenue. Christmas is just around the corner, and you know very well that without chicken, Christmas is not up to the standard or the level that we want it to be. And Mr. Michael Nyako Ampem is here to do that with us. Now, do we have enough bodies, layers in Ghana to be able to satisfy us during this Christmas period?
We have, thank you very much. We have enough layers, but the problem will be the dollars.
Why?
Just like the discussion we were having on the COP26, we have some supply chain disruptions, and it's partly due to the environment that we find ourselves in. You know, with COVID, and the COVID has moved into bird flu, and some of these things are as a result of the environment that we are destroying. Because some of these diseases are diseases that must stay in the forest. but we are harvesting the forest for charcoal, we are harvesting for coal and all other things, and for housing, for farming, and we are clearing them. So diseases and animals that must stay in the forest for them to for these diseases to attack them there are coming to the cities. They are finding their way into the cities. So when they come in, then we have this problem. So they have come in as a result. We had COVID-19, and the COVID-19 led to shutdown in businesses, and the shutdown businesses somehow also metamorphosized into avian influenza, which the birds are flying over and getting all the diseases. And then because of the disruption, unlike Ghana, where fortunately we had partial shutdown, those other areas, they had full shutdown. So when it's full shutdown, it means you're not going to work. And the companies that must go into, let's say, the hatcheries and all of that, they were on shutdown. So it's difficult for them. They are now restarting, they are rebooting their system. So it's going to take a while for it's like pumping water from pond. It's going to take a while for the water to get to Accra. So they are pumping it, but it will take a while. And those are the things that we are suffering from. We used to get a bit of deals from Cote d'Ivoire, and they are also suffering their, having their own challenges. As a result, we are suffering these disruptions.
Can that translate into price hikes?
The price hike is not necessarily because of the birds. It's partly a result, but we've known for some time now that the cost of raw materials have gone up. Maize is high, wheat bran is high, and so the cost of production generally has gone up. With the addition of unavailability of the DOs, enough making it to the market when their birds are grown, what is going to happen is that then when you have a supply being less than demand, obviously prices are going to go up. But it will be counted. It will be counted with the layers.
Okay.
Just that the layers are tough meat, unlike the broiler, which is soft meat. So if you have the strong teeth, then probably you go for the layer. But generally, the broiler, we anticipate that it's good.
So last year, how much did you sell your broilers?
Last year,
one
broiler went for between 50 and 60 cedis.
And this year, how much am I expecting?
It's too early to
predict.
To predict, but I think that even without that, it was going to go beyond that, because if a bag of maize that was selling for about, let's say, even 80 cedis, it's now selling for 150 cedis, and that is for the maize. Howbeit, if you have the feed itself, the compounded feed, which was selling for broiler starter, was selling for about 105. It's now selling for 140. Some are selling for 170.
Wow.
It's almost about 70% increase. Certainly that will translate into increase in prices. So I don't know how it will turn out, but certainly it will not be at the price that we bought it for.
So far we've seen the outside supply chain disruption. We've been hit with bird flu. How many birds off your head, if you're able to tell us, have been killed, and how had that affected your industry?
Okay, thank you. Roughly is a bit over 200,000.
Wow.
That have been killed. I always say that the number of birds that are killed is an issue. Howbeit, the real issue is the infection rate. Because if the birds are affected, then we are going to have a lot more problems, because the birds are here. And if the infection rate is high and is continuing, then you are going to have more birds being killed or being affected, and more farms being shut down. So these are things that we have to deal with. So I mean, we have about 8 regions that have been affected, and so a bit over 2,934,000 birds that have been affected as of now. So basically, the bird flu has affected the farms, but somehow maybe the amount of money in the system is also a bit of a, so even the movement of the products itself is also an issue. So it's a basket of issues that we are dealing with. The disruption is real. I mean, we are dealing with real disruption. So I must say that we are dealing with something that is tough, and we hope that we can surmount it.
So would you mind explaining now, if you look at what we put there, the data we put there,
okay,
how has that, what kind of solution have been preferred or put out there to be able to address this challenge?
Okay, so this is a disease that moves.
Okay.
As an airborne disease. So I jokingly say that it doesn't need or require a visa to go anywhere. You see that Ashanti region has the highest. Brunahavo has been saved. How they've done that is a miracle. But Brunahavo, and then it comes to Ashanti in terms of the population, bird population.
Okay.
So Ashanti, you find Ashanti having the highest on this chart. Eastern, or I think Upper West. Upper West is the lowest. Because they don't farm too much birds, the temperature there is not too conducive for raising birds there. But Ashanti region has a massive amount of birds, and so if Ashanti region is hit and hit badly, then it means that the total number of birds that we are going to have as a result turning out for Christmas is going to be a problem. Fortunately, BA or Ahafo and all those areas, the Doma area coming to Brekum, going to Techiman, is not captured here, and we are happy that it's not captured, because if that is captured, then we're going to have a massive problem. So this is, we've left up, I think, BA, like I said, North is not in there as well. And
so now let's look at the issue of going forward.
Okay.
Of becoming, we're thinking of becoming sufficient in poultry production. Are we on course with Dako farms coming on stream?
Yes, we will struggle a bit because you know.
For how long in terms of years?
We need about 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
To fully get there. If we get enough support, we can scale it down to about 2-3 years. Because government had a plan of revitalizing the industry by putting $5 million every year over 4 years, and that would have done that trick. But COVID came in, and then because of COVID, the government could not. Government had to schedule these funds for other activities. So that's a problem. But if we can get back to that system, then we can be self-sufficient. And the self-sufficiency is not just the birds.
Okay.
The self-sufficiency must be in the production of the raw materials that we need to feed the birds. We need the value chain. We need the cold chain system. We need the hotels and the hospitality industry to also understand and join in. Once these things are locked in, then the self-sufficiency is in. Because when people put in money and produce and they don't have buyers, that's one thing. If people have they produce and they don't or get the best and they don't have feed, it's a problem. And so we need to get all these actors in the field to come together and set the motion going, so that when you bring the 20 million birds, then the 20 million birds have somewhere to go. Otherwise, then if you give the farmer money to produce these things and he cannot pay back, you say the farmer is not a genuine or is not a business minded. So we need to get these actors or all this.
What about the banking, the financing community? I'm talking about the actors.
We need the banks. We can do without them. We need them, but they have
interest rates aspect.
Interest rate, but they've also classified poultry as a risky business industry. So, but we're trying to have this insurance in there. The issue or the problem has been the premium.
Okay.
That has to be paid, because the premium is high, and if the premium is high, because they've also said it's a risky business. But if again there was a policy or a program that was put in place, it's being worked out, where biosecurity is going to be put in, and farms are going to be graded with colors, yellow, green, and red, and all of that. So that will influence
your interest rate,
and the premiums that you pay on insurance.
In terms of jobs, are we doing well in scaling up jobs at poultry farms?
Yes, we're doing extremely well. Until we had COVID, and then avian influenza, we're doing extremely well. You know, poultry consumes a lot of the raw materials that are produced, so that's why prices of maize have gone up. If we take out poultry, price of maize will collapse immediately. Because I give an example that take a bag of 50 kg maize to your house or your home, and with your family of about 5.
It took about 1 year before you finish consumption.
Meanwhile, one farm would take about more than 1,000 bags of maize in a month.
Wow.
Yes.
You know,
so it creates a lot of employment for the farm, for the soybean farmers, for those in copra, those in fish industry, those doing the flour mills. When they produce their flour, now the waste is what we use for the poultry as a wheat bran. So that nothing goes waste. We pick it up and put it together. So we create employment, and apart from what we generate on the farms itself, the transport system, the cold chain, we create massive amounts of employment. So if care is given, attention is paid to poultry, we know that a lot can be done.
COP26 is talking about climate change. Some are saying, "Hello, let's stop taking even meat." Have you heard, or are we seeing much carbon emission from poultry?
No, carbon emission, no. People are saying that meat, for instance, should be stopped because of the land that we need. But again, instead of building laterally, or we should build upwards. If we build upwards, and let's say Ghana, how many buildings are 50 floors? So we keep spreading and keep spreading. But if we go up and then we recycle the amount of water, when you look at all the gutters around, the waters are running wherever they are going. Nobody is recycling them for vegetation and for grass. We find us using the treated water to water our grass, our homes, and all of that. So if we find ways of treating these things and harnessing them, then these issues of people not eating meat will not come up. The lands will be available for animals to do these things. Recently, I was watching a documentary on Rwanda, how they introduced 7 lions because of the war. They lost all the lions. How they introduced them. If it didn't matter, the ecosystem was not necessary and was not needful, they wouldn't have introduced those things in there. So we need these things in the system to balance the ecosystem. The lions take out some things that humans will not be able to take out. The cows take out some things that humans will not be able to take out. The lizards, the ants, they all take out some things that humans cannot take out.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Michael Nyakwampi, a poultry farmer, talking to us about the supply chain disruption that have hit the poultry industry, not only in Ghana, but across the globe and its ramifications. Thank you for watching Market Avenue. This is how we draw the curtain for today. My name is Edward Nyakon. God willing, we'll come away tomorrow. Shalom.
As waste is generated every day, we have an obligation to keep our environment clean every day. We have to do so daily and not on a monthly basis. Every day is Sanitation Day.
According to to NC or say I'm a pay a better. Let us say, I bet you go. If you don't see a bit sad, maybe. Don't you see I'm a yummy, I say, run a war. Let's say, be a more. It's TV anymore. That's the money be a better.
You can make your money, but clean Ghana first.
Cleanliness is next to godliness,
What are you selling, mommy? Food or garbage? If you sell food in a dirty environment, no one should buy.
No excuses. Be a good citizen. Keep a clean surrounding.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Adabraka jala mi wo yo ye bia na chane. Bia ne wo dente wo fie wo ni. Fale e wo nu wo sumo fale wo. Te ba wo gate dem po no je gate na ona ajo ebu ajemi. Kede na nu pa wo be obo la pe. Alo fe da ka wo pio. E wo bola jole wo gate na. Ko ba le bi wo ba be. Ben wo ba wo jila. Di bia ne hu emla ye bia. Lo dente ko hey. Okay, for spawn, for spawn about mobile. Oh, dress am na Adabraka. Na me ka fe ano me no ni ja fe fale. Adabraka jela mi dag me fale kan wo e bi e.
Ministry of Sanitation. Hey, Gama coronation. Yeah, what you feel? The border form, unyai oblivication. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Fale. And you are fale.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources in collaboration with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
It is a nightmare dealing with the filth in Accra. The gutters are choked with garbage. The streets are a jumble of filth. The beauty of the serene beaches is marred with human feces and plastics as many defecate in the open. Residents are up in arms when the situation gets out of hand.
Because of these meetings, you can't even stand there for even a minute. As we speak here, if the mosquitoes even refuse to breed on it.
Partners in sanitation suggest alternative policy interventions.
Landfill is not the way forward. We are recommending treatment facilities.
But in all of this, have we made gains in the sector?
How can you have the people who have a lot of dignity and still practicing open defecation?
The task facing Ghana to achieve SDG Goal 6 on clean water and sanitation for all is Herculean and riddled with equally complicated hurdles. Join us every Thursday.